Hi, Howie here. Welcome to the Howie Haynes Show. We're going to begin the show this morning with a tweet. So, I was looking at my Twitter feed and I saw something, jumped out at me. I read it, and it's one of those moments I want to respond. So that's a show. That's how we do it here, right? You look for something that's organic and you move with it. So here we go. The tweet is from a gentleman named J.D. Haltigan. You know I like to get the names right. J.D. Haltigan, Ph.D. So just quickly, I've never heard of this man. And that's what's amazing about the world we're in right now. You see things and you straighten. There's amazing individuals out there. J.D. Haltigan, Ph.D. in developmental and evolutionary psychopathology, measurement science, and psychiatric nosology. I don't really even know what nosology is. That must be something important. All right. He pinned on his X account is a conversation with Jordan Peterson. So Jordan Peterson had him on. The name of the Jordan Peterson episode was The Devouring Mother, War, and Human Aggression. So this is interesting. He's an interesting man. I think we should take a look at that podcast later. And this is the point. You can't be aware of everything. But what you can do is be open, listen, follow your instincts, and then begin a journey. So what he tweeted was the following. Let's see. It was from about 16 hours ago. Ready? You are not oppressed if someone is smarter than you, more skilled at athletics than you, more physically pleasing aesthetically than you, is more conscientious than you, and so forth. This is just human variation. Compete harder or level up with reality. Ideally both. Boy, that really fits our show, right? You know, I talk about freedom of speech and opportunity and equity and diversity and inclusion, okay? What I like about this is that he's talking like a coach, but the fact that he brought in these other things, smarter, so that opens up the admissions policy and affirmative action, athletics, of course we talked about handicapping, right? Lowering the basket, more physically pleasing aesthetically, prettier, more handsome, better body, whatever it may be, right? More conscientious than you. That's an interesting one because we think of smarts, athletics, and looks as something that some people have it, some people don't. But to be more conscientious, we usually think that is something you cultivate, which you do. But you can also cultivate your athletics. You can cultivate your look, okay, and your brain. But being more conscientious, so he's actually acknowledging that's somewhat of a gift that some people have a head start with. You know, it's just they're just more conscientious. They're kinder people. They're more in tune with being moral, sound integrity. So it's almost a talent. Imagine that. Imagine someone starts complaining about that advantage. You're privileged because you're kinder than me by nature. Okay? So he draws these out. It jumps out at me. And you know what I think about? Helicopter Nation. And what I think is, like, I watch Netflix quite a bit. And I never used to. And then, of course, the pandemic came and I would never watch TV. Actually, I hadn't had TV my entire adult life. This used to be a big deal because you only had TV and there was just a desktop computer and you didn't have really the internet to watch things. Now, of course, you can watch everything on your phone or your laptop. But at the time, it was really, my wife and I did not have a TV. The entire time we're together, we're married 20 years. We've never had a TV until about a year ago. And even when we started the family, people said, you have to have a TV. No, I said, we don't have a TV. And, so we read a lot, we spoke a lot, we walked a lot. And so in this process of journeying into the new media, right, and then COVID comes and we start watching things on the laptop, on Netflix. One of the things that our family moved toward was these shows on sports. Okay, now this is what's so interesting about our nation. Everybody loves Rocky. Okay, we showed our daughter Rocky, the whole series during COVID, right? And also Little House on the Prairie, which actually is really fantastic. Anyway, so we watched Rocky, and then there's Creed, of course, the new series. We love this guy who's out. He's not privileged. He's not advanced in terms of his athletic natural prowess. He's disadvantaged, right? And so many shows that are on Netflix These moving motivational movies about sports are always about kids that grow up in these circumstances. Look at King Richard, right? The Serena and Williams story, right? And so you have these inner city, not in a city, but they're young black girls who are in a world that they don't fit into. That's a disadvantage, right? But we love to see them rise to the top. So what I'm looking at now is, why do we do this? Why do we love the kid who grows up in Brazil? He's playing on a field that's covered in glass and broken shards, and he ends up leading his team to the World Cup. Or the girl who plays basketball on the old court with no net, and she ends up on the Olympic team. We do it all the time. But you can't have both. You can't love the narrative of the Rocky narrative. You can't love the narrative of the kid who has nothing and just picks himself up by the bootstraps with no coaching and just works hard and gets up and wears the old gray sweatpants and runs in the morning. You can't have that and then complain that these people should be handicapped that are coming from families that have fathers or coaches or good environments, or the father's still around. A lot of these kids don't have fathers, and they turn to sports to gain that father figure. So you start to balance this out. What is advantage? What is privilege? And we want to elevate anybody who makes it through that process and hold them up actually higher than the person who wins with the advantage, quote unquote. You can't have both. And the reason I say helicopter is I realize that that's what we are as a nation now. We used to, we all know the helicopter parent won't let the child fail. They hover over, and any mistake that happens, they fix immediately, or even more proactive, preemptively stop the mistake from happening. Now, we understand why this happens, because you don't want to see your kid upset. But who you're really serving, and we all know, we do it, but we also, when we watch it, we know what's going on. The parent is so afraid of the child being sad. But who are they really protecting? The parent's protecting themselves. They don't want to feel that pain of the child being sad. The child gets over it quickly. It's one of the major things of being a child is you fight with your friend, and 2 minutes later you're back on the slide, right? You skin your knee and you run away, right? All right, you fall from a tree, you break your arm, and the next day you're trying to jump rope with your sister, because that's just what you do. We lay on the couch. We dwell on what that guy said to me at the office. Like, children let go and they move on. They release. Okay, so we have this conflict, and the parent is really just protecting themselves. So now we have a large portion of the country that wants to be a helicopter parent to groups of people. Groups of people that are new to the nation. We have to help them. We have to stop mistakes from happening. We have to level the playing field. We have to handicap anybody else who's not new to the nation, or English isn't your first language, or you're black and maybe there was an ancestor that in your family that was a slave. But we've talked about this on the show. When do you stop? What about the kid who's got everything going for him in terms of race, and he's a male and he lives in a great neighborhood, but his parents are awful parents who neglect him? So I look at this tweet this morning, and I really want to talk about helicopter parents, helicopter nation, and how guys like this J.D. Halligan are really important to us. And to keep your antenna up about these kind of tweets, keep the conversation going. This is a quick episode, and I'm going to run out of here. Have a good day.